Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. This week's video is dedicated to my brother Levi, his wife Chani, and their son Yechiel. Upon Yechiel's bar mitzvah this Shabbos, Mazel Tov. Today's actually your birthday, Mazel Tov. May you become a leader amongst the Jewish people with Hashem's help. In this week's parasha is Bechukosai, so the Torah starts off with the words, in Bechukosai telechu, if you will walk in my ways, in my decrees. And the Torah doesn't say if you will cling to my decrees or if you will perform them, even though later in that verse it says that. But here it says, "In bechukosai telechu," if you walk in my ways, walk in my decrees. Now, what does that mean to walk in our decrees? So Rashi teaches us that walking in Hashem's ways is another way of saying if you toil in Hashem's Torah. Now, what does that mean? And let's try to give a little deeper insight. Now, because the Torah specifically gave the word walking, and there's many commentaries on why Hashem says, if you will walk in my ways. But I want to share an idea with you that I heard from an old friend, Rabbi Gabriel Friedman, more affectionately known as Rav Gav. And we were talking once, and he shared with me the following idea. And he was explaining the term baby steps. What is baby steps? So we always simply understand it to mean baby steps, slowly but surely, eventually. Don't take off, but don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't try to travel too fast. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Take it easy in life. Life is about baby steps. But he said a little different insight. It was actually very enlightening. Thank you, Rav Gav. And he explained that baby steps means that we in life have to have sometimes the attitude of a baby. That means when a baby starts to walk, what will happen? The baby will hang on, and then eventually that day will come when the baby will let go to try to take that first step. Now, what will happen after that baby tries to take that first step? The baby's going to fall. And what happens? The baby sits down, plops down, and maybe people around laugh, think it's cute, but the baby stands back up eventually and tries to take another step. He or she falls again, and repeat. This keeps happening. But eventually the day comes that the baby takes a step, and the baby doesn't fall. But the baby takes a second step, and the baby does fall again. Slowly but surely, this baby walks 2 or 3 steps, 4 or 5 steps, and before you know it, this baby is a full-fledged walker. Now, what is the idea? What is the attitude that we should learn from this baby? The idea that we should learn from this baby is that if the baby had the mindset of an adult, most adults, mainly because of their ego, are afraid to take that step. You know why? Because people around them are pointing at them and saying, "Ha, failed. You fell, and you fell again. You took 1 step, you took 2 steps, you keep failing." The baby is completely oblivious to such talk of the people surrounding him. And what does the baby do? Doesn't matter how many times I fell, I'm just going to get up, I'm going to try it again, I'm going to try it again. And before you know it, the baby becomes an expert walker. And if we had that mindset of a baby when it came to things that we wanted to do, things that we knew that we needed to do, so we don't care about the scoffers around us. And we don't care about the people that are making fun of us. Hey, you failed, you failed. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. Because if we get up and we keep walking, that actually is a toiling. And when we toil, the baby toils when it walks. It doesn't just say, oh, let me figure out how to walk in 1 second. No, the baby's actually toiling in it. Before you know, all this trying becomes a baby walker. And so therefore, an expert walker, And so therefore, the more we learn Torah, we may fail, we may not try, we may get depressed, other people may laugh at us. Hashem says, don't worry, you keep going. You keep going because you're working on it. And you're working on it, eventually you'll be somebody that can follow Hashem's decrees. And so therefore, Yechiel, for your bar mitzvah and for anybody else, studying Torah is not going to be so easy. But Hashem says if you keep working at it and if you're going to walk in that way, eventually you can become an expert as well. Have a great Shabbos. Mazel Tov. Thank you for listening, everyone, and have a great week.